So there has been some outrage resurfacing against Willow Smith, daughter of Will and Jada Smith. She, back in 2024, actually, pushed back at accusations that she only has success in her career because of her parents. And now those comments are resurfacing and getting more negative attention. She is the less annoying of the two children. Jaden Smith, I think, still is certifiably the most annoying Nepo baby, but they are in very tough competition with each other because I didn't know she said something like this. I think she's more talented than her brother, and I will explain why.
Yeah, but does she think as deeply?
But she doesn't like say things like, if mirrors aren't real, then our eyes aren't real or whatever. So this was an interview with Allure back in 2024 where they're talking about all of her negative self-talk, right? The inner voices that are constantly berating her, and she is reflecting back at herself all the hateful things that are said about her online. Here's what it said. No amount of dancing, reading, meditating, or even love could fully silence the negativity of Willow Smith's inner voice. It echoes with rebukes. You're never going to be good enough. Everyone thinks you're only special because of all the things they've seen from your parents. No one really cares about you. You're a fraud. Each thought had its own sting. But that's just because I'm reflecting the fears and the things that people have said to me, not necessarily my own thoughts. I'm internalizing the negativity from the outside. That voice also drives her work ethic. Given her lineage, Willow is what some would call a Nepo baby. Yes, there are doors that have opened because she has Smith as a last name. However, after some deliberation, we both agree that she doesn't quite fit the bill. First off, because her determination and creative output are not exactly consistent with Nepo babyhood. Say what you like, but Willow Smith doesn't coast. I truly believe that my spirit is a strong spirit. I just can't get over, like, how is it possible to raise children this annoying and pretentious? It's actually impressive. I don't know how they managed it.
I would be interested to know whether it was a written... I'm assuming this isn't like an email interview and it's an actual in-person.
A sit-down interview.
I would actually give you more leeway if it was like a written interview. Like you just got into your creative writing headspace.
No, this is how they talk. Yeah. This is just what Jaden and Willow
actually worse.
think.
It's one thing to write that way. It's a completely different thing to talk that way.
To say it out loud, totally in earnest, not having any clue how stupid you sound. Here was her quote, sorry. I truly believe that my spirit is a strong spirit, and that even if my parents weren't who they were, I would still be a weirdo and a crazy thinker. I definitely think that a little bit of insecurity has driven me harder because people do think that the only reason I'm successful is because of my parents. That has driven me to work really hard to try to prove them wrong. But nowadays, I don't need to prove shit to anybody. The second reason why they claim Willow Smith doesn't fit the mold for a Nepo baby is because she is a black woman in America. And no matter if your parents are on billboards or you've been the face of Chanel or Mugler campaign, which Willow has, most recently signing a beauty contract with Dior, you can still walk into places and get, quote, put in your place. Yeah, Willow Smith, of all people, I'm to believe, is a victim of racism.
That's what happens when you go into Erewhon.
She said, there have been some experiences where I went into a place that I've worked in the past, and my picture could even be up on the wall, and they treat me like, this is a little bit out of your price range, or you don't really belong here. Like she walks into a Gucci store or something, and the sales associates are going to treat her a certain way because she's black, even if they know that she's Willow Smith. Stop bullshitting me. Yeah. And then she continues, being black in America, which of course they capitalize, even with privilege, which I'm never going to deny that I have. You're still black. And I love being black. People would look at me and say, okay, well, her parents are this and that, but she is still like me. She still has brown skin, and we all know that that doesn't exempt you from anything, and that's a place of connection. So she feels connected to all of the other oppressed black people.
Well, here's the thing, though. I can do that as well. See, being white in America, despite poor, I'm still poor, right? So even with all the privilege of being white, I'm still poor, which connects me to the diaspora of all the other poor people in this country.
She also talked some about how her parents have supported her creative dreams since she was very young. I think that actually means that Jaden and Willow Smith have had smoke blown up their asses since they were sentient, and that's why they're so annoying today. Everyone in Jaden Smith's life has told him he's a young prodigy, a genius, and that's what he believes. So does Willow.
We need to get Jaden Smith to hang out with Terrence Howard and see what comes of it.
But they did tell her, if you want to be a celebrity, it's going to be difficult. She said, as a young kid, I was up on my cloud. I thought they were being such Debbie Downers. They're acting so serious. They were like, okay, we just want you to know that if you really want to sing, this isn't going to be easy. And I thought, what? It was so easy. I just made a song. Little did I know that this shit is a deep lineage. That when you add to that lineage, you must come correct. She would eventually discover that maybe her parents had a point. And they mentioned being the only daughter of Will Smith and Jada Smith is a privilege that cuts both ways. The songs, the staging, and the tour stops were all planned out by others. It was as if she was handed a manual, How to Be a Pop Star 101, and her job was just to read along.
I mean, that's kind of what it is to be a pop star anyway. The machine takes you, and then you just do what they say.
And then she admits that for the beginning of her music career, which started when she was like 8, I didn't write the songs. I didn't produce the music. And now I think I need to write the songs and I need to produce the music. If I'm not doing that, what's the use?
That's true.
Okay, but right? You're admitting that you were just fast-tracked into being a child star and an adult star because of your parents, right?
It doesn't matter if she went and did it all on her own anyways. Just the doors that being the child of those. I feel kind of bad for them in a way. And I've said this before, that I feel bad for a lot of the ones in Hollywood that do feel like a deep desire to follow in their parents' footsteps, because the ones that want to do so, they'll never escape the label and they have to just come to terms with it, and the smart ones just don't talk about it. Like we talked about the other day, if you work hard enough, you can be Jamie Lee Curtis, and then people are like, oh.
You're the daughter of Tony Curtis.
Yes. Wow. And Janet Leigh. So it's doable. I think that we need to spend more time worrying about the children of bad people and how they have to go the opposite Nepo baby route and prove that they're not awful people. That's a real plight.
But even that plight has its own benefits. They
don't have to be rich bad people, though that's the funnier version of this.
If we're talking about celebrities, though, look at Jeanette McCurdy. Okay, you get a memoir out of the fact that your mom was a narcissistic stage mother who abused you.
Yeah.
If you're Brooke Shields, you get a docuseries and a memoir out of it. You can still benefit from having crazy, evil parents as well in this industry. And just the list of undeserved, unearned accolades that Willow Smith has received is absolutely insane. It illuminates exactly the point, which is that she is delusional for saying this. She has collaborations with Travis Barker, MGK.
Yes, there's only one way you end up in the Rolodex of those people, and that's by being part of the industry.
Like, just go down the list. And then she also won an NAACP Image Award and earned an Emmy as a co-host for her mom's show, Red Table Talk.
Yep.
Okay, so... yeah, you're a Nepo baby. You check off every box to be accused of being a Nepo baby. And nobody said that that made you a bad person. It just means that you didn't earn your success. And to say that your success has nothing to do with your parents is peak delusion. And that's the reason why Nepo babies get the amount of hate that they do.
Yeah, I think that much like we talked about yesterday about how if you do this for work and you complain about it, you're going to look awful. If you're a Nepo baby, you shouldn't even try to deny the...
No.
Like, I get the instinct to do so. Some people, they're going to have a lot of ego and they're going to have they're going to have a brash personality and want to push back, but it's in your best interest to just not do it because you're never going to beat those allegations.
And the only reason I do cut her a tiny amount of slack is because with the music she actually has written and produced herself, she has reached a lot of success. Like, she has plenty of songs that one of them has 1.2 billion streams on Spotify. They've gone TikTok viral. Like, I've listened to some of her songs. She's not a bad singer, but she wouldn't be famous without her parents, period. That's just the truth. And I think that her parents have set both her and her brother up for failure as people. Regardless of how they were going to end up financially, they're going to be fine for the rest of their lives, obviously. But they're both seemingly totally detached from reality. Jaden Smith was just recently on a drug binge in Paris, and there was this report that people in his life are concerned because he's headed in a dangerous direction.
I think they just don't understand that he's standing on business with his level of intellect.
And you said that his mom was the one that initially introduced him to psychedelic drugs.
I think that's what I remember them saying, was that she introduced them to psychedelics a couple years ago in like 2023 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's probably not something you should do as a parent, like giving your kids drugs.
No.
It's like parenting 101.
Gone are the days of like the cool mom that takes your keys and lets the kids, as long as they can all drink at your house as long as they don't drive, and now they're just like, here's some mushrooms.
Yeah. They're truly like maybe the most egregious Nepo babies in Hollywood.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.